Break the habit. Bad habit. Bad habit. Go. Going bad. Bad habit. Going bad. I need to wear a hat. I need my hat. Nobody has to wear a hat. Should everybody be wearing a hat? What are the implications of wearing a hat? Depending on what hat you wear, will you be implicated, or at least thought to be implicated because of the hat? Now, should we be looking at this sombrero? Is the hat blocking out the sun? Why are you wearing the hat? When I was younger, and if God has a connection to each and every one of us, bestowed in the numeric memories that we have, how many, you see, apparently, I'm going to have to look this up because you know what? I like to keep in context with what is deemed to be the science of truth. So I bring to you that science of truth because I prove something to you that has nothing to do with me other than finding the object. So I jump onto the search engine and I say, what is the male sex organ called?
According to Health Direct, penis, the organ used for urination and sexual intercourse. It has spongy tissue that can fill with blood to cause an erection. It contains the urethra, which carries both urine and semen. Scrotum, this is a loose bag of skin that hangs outside the body, behind the penis.
So this is what I can look up. And I think that's the search engine Google. Googly with the two O's, O and O. They talking about the two waters? Why can't we have, why don't we ever really have three of the same like letters next to each other? Is there a reason? I have tons of reasons. Well, I don't have tons of reasons because if I had tons, I'd have 2,000. Well, I'd have 1 metric ton for 2,000 pounds. Well, then which ton are we talking about? The other thing I'd like to say about words is I want to say the word ama. In French, the word soul is ame, A-M-E. In French, to have is avoir. But when they use it in each of the, that's right, that's right, in each of the contexts, meaning, are you alone? Je, I, me. Me also saying me. Now, me is the 13th and the fifth letter. And now, is it all of you? Now, what is all? And can all of you be just a simple triangle? But we all know that triangles in cells that are squared will always take up two areas by one height, the minimum. It will always have a point and two on the outside. Does that mean the moon meets where the juncture is over here of my pyramid crossing? I can do it, but I can't close it with my hands other than through my body. Right? I touch my head to bring my two hands together. So which formation? And then if I do it this way, I got one triangle this way, and then I got another one here. But if I do it lower, like if I do it the other way, I would have it now, it would go like this, like this, like this, and over. Now I can take two triangles, one above and one below, and slip them in because of what I'm forced to do. Isn't it weird that the creator made everything work to form? So here's my next question. How many sperm get into an egg?
Normal sperm density. According to NCBI, of the 300 million human sperm ejaculated during coitus, only about 200 reach the site of fertilization in the oviduct. There's evidence that chemical signals released by the follicle cells that surround the ovulated egg attract the sperm to the egg, but the nature of the chemoattractant molecules is unknown.
There you go. Now, what I also want to talk about is we need to, I base everything I do off of what the science took me. So it tells me there's about 200. Same thing as pass go and Monopoly. You get 200 for every time you pass go. They ran 40 days in the desert, right? 40 is all the numbers without counting the number 5 in the center. You ever see that number 5? It's just one number 5. Number 5, number 5, number 5. Think about it. Bingo. You get a free number 5. Free. FR 24 EE 1034. We find that anywhere else? Yes. In the House of DC, right? You can find that same number. 6 times 4 equals to 24. 6 plus 4 equals to 10. So what this one does, 6 times 4, 6 plus 4. Why did I do this? This is the crossing on another tool that's telling me that 5 is in the center. But wait a second. Is it 5? Yeah. So why can't it be 145? Why can't it be 235? Why can't it be 415? Why can't it be 325? Every single number makes its own nest. So in this little nest over here, that's 1 and 4, 5, right? 1 and 4 equals to 5. Or 4 and 1 equals to 5. 1 and 4 and 4 and 1 is 55. So the number 5 can come back into itself. Well, can it come back into itself again? It sure can. Well, what about, so we have, now do we have any other 5s? Well, what about 9 and 5 equaling to 14? Or 8 and 6 equaling to 14? Now, can I use 7 into 14? Well, what if I had 2 cubes? I need to use 2 cubes, right? Where do I get 7 from? How many cubes do I need to make these numbers? Well, there you go. I've got 9 and 5 right over here, creating 36. Right? Or it could be 63. And I have both of them. I have 8 and 6. Right? 8 and 6 equaling to 14. And 8 and 6 is going to equal into what is this number over here. 3663. So when I do this number over here, right? This one equals to 99. This one equals to 66. 8 and 6. But 8 and 6 is made from 5 and 3. And the 6 is made from 2 and 4. So now, right, what I have is I have 15 and 8 equaling to 23. So now I've come back over here. And here I have 8 and 6 equaling to 14 over here. What is this? 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, 8 and 6 equals to 14. 5 times 3, 5 plus 3 is 15 and 8 equaling to 23. So here you will have W, here you will have N, and at the same time in both of them, we're going to have we and ni. Remember when we talk, when we speak, let me just do something. So I just put something up on Facebook. I don't know if anybody can see. I'm not even sure if it's good. Let me see what it is. I think I can get into it, but nobody else could to stream what I'm watching now. But hold on a second. Okay, it might not work. To go back to ABCEHMU. Just in case those don't know who I am on Rumble, I'm just gonna take this and go over here and put this over here and do this over here. So what I was talking about here, okay, I'm gonna try to explain this if I could, is um, where do numbers come from? How can they be recreated? So I'm using some instruments to tell me a story. I'm also using facts being sent out on the market to tell me a story where they're showing me 8 areas here of 1/8 each to equaling to a whole square, one, not more than 1 and 1. And I know that every single time I have this, that if I should be using this square paper, it's got to come between 4 windows, that point. I know it has to run through 2 windows. The same thing with here. I have 8, I have 8, I have 8, I have 8. I know they're working with squares. I know they're working with triangles. I know they're working with hexagons. I don't see on here the octagon. So they're not promoting that one, right, to the mind. So I use, if you tell me something, everything you tell me, well, what about everything you don't tell me? So everything I think outside that box, what you didn't tell me, was it not included on purpose? Was it not necessary to know that right now? If I had to learn everything in the world, when is the right time? When is the right time to learn all that in the world? I know there's people out there watching, although it says a goose egg with an eye, and you notice in the eye, right, that the hexagon is sitting this way with the eye. And the slants, those I'm going to use as the queens. The queen's helmet or the hat are all slanted. They all have flowers. They all have 2 eyes. 4 suits, 2 eyes equaling to 8. The king, right, has 3 cards of 2 eyes, is 6 and 1 equaling to 7. And the jack is split up between 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 in different suits. So I want to just get back to here and see where I was going with this before I get lost. And one of the ways to create this and bring these two together, to sew them together, is number 16. How do we get the 16? 4 times 4, 8 times 2. 4 times 4 equals to 16. 8 by 2 equals to a total of 16. Now, these numbers over here, when they add them, 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 2 is 10. Now, this one, okay, is a number that goes together. Why does this number go together? In French, they say 18 as 18, and it happens times 3, which means 30 and 24 equaling to 54 in our creation to the divided house of the cat. So we've been divided in the mind over here, created on day 666 or 666. 3 moons. We work with 3 moons. We work with 3 moons. Do not forget, I'm working this project with a minimum of 3 moons. Now, the question is it because I need a moon here to cover that up? Do I need a moon here to cover that up? Or should I be covering up in this one over here? Which one is the cover up moon? You notice this one is in the center, and then this one is between 4. This one's my 22 marking. This one's my 33 marking. The minimum for here, right? This one is 1133. See where it's 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. You notice that when I do this versus me doing this, the beehive here is an ABC beehive. Here it is not an ABC beehive. Here I used up 1 space above. Here I have 3 space above. Here I have 5 space above. When I go to this one here, I am cutting 1 space in half. I am cutting 2 space in half. Here I'm using 3 spaces. So my count is this way. And my count here is ACE. Tells me a divided count. Inside of this one, my angle is going to run this way. And if I decide to stop here, my angle will go that way. As when I run inside of this one, I'm going to be chopping it off this way. This is where my hexagon is going to come in. I'm going to use my minimum size hexagon will be this. Then I'll take that. Now, let me see the way I did that again. And then I did that. So that can be the one side of my hexagon. I'm just trying to see if it was like this. Right. Here's my hexagon on that angle. Right. As to this one, my hexagon would be on this angle. These are the changes. Now, which one runs with the queen? Which one runs with the queen? Just to note that this splits this way, right? This one over here is this way. This one is the Earth one, and this one over here runs with Mars or the queen. It's a single line. Earth has a complete area space. This divides everything. It's a single line. It can also be shown in the expression of the dollar sign. Man is money. Here, see the way the line goes through, and I have a triple cross or a double cross, if you want to call it. It's unlike that we draw it this way, because in this one, I cannot do anything through here. I only can draw lines over here. In this one, I can draw a line like this, but this is outside the area box when I was in conformity right over here. So I can just stop. Here I have an obligation to run into the corners. You can't stop in the middle of the box. You don't know exactly where perfect is. You have to be drawn all the way down to the bottom, all the way up to the top with this one over here. So I want to know if this one is running. When we do the other way around, when I do the double cross over here, I would be running here and I would be running here. And at the same time, when I do this one, the minimum size, I have an automatic here. So I've put 1 between 2. So in which one am I talking about Earth and which one am I talking about Mars? Or is it an obligation that let's say we have a chicken up here and a chicken down here. If you're turning it, one will be turning above, one will be turning below. One area you'd have over here, the other area you down over here. But if you look closely, this can be a 9, and it would be the number here that would come out is 988668889 equals 6776. 6776, your gateway between 66. I just reverted this. 9886, your rotation. What is 9 and 6? Can we look at it this way? Can I look at it this way? Whoop, my camera's a little dark. 9 and 6. Can I look at it? Should I make 9 and 6 this way? I changed around this design. There's many ways to make this design. I'm just trying to we have one house here, one house there. And if you notice, this one leads into here. and this one leads into here. This is just automatic. Usually I create this by just showing you a 9 and a 6, and it shows me the percentage. At the same time it's showing me the percentage, it's also showing me this with a pole over here. So it's rotating, okay, to both sides. And you see this 3 area here, like the chicken foot comes out, right? And let me see if I can get this right. So we have the 2 offset triangles. I don't know if I want to build these as houses, finish the design in the way I normally do, just to say that this was a hexagon. But if I want to move the rotation, I can now move it from its hexagon into understanding now that I have 4 lines crossing. See the way I have a crossing line here, crossing line here? Each one of these are telling me stories. Here's the stories they're telling me from this image, from the square cube. So we have this line down the center, then this set of down the center here, we have it crossing with the same X. Instead of crossing with the X, we now have the addition sign with crossing to this angle through, the long angle crossing through. Then we have the one over here. This one is only this. This is your 888. One of these lines will make up 222, as well it will make up 22. At the same time, it'll make up 33. So if you want to talk about this one, should I skip to where I was? I'm going to come back to this in a minute. I wanted to talk about something I was talking about earlier, where letters come in. If I want to use the word 10, I know inside 10 is this equation for EN. Can I use it for northeast? West and east are opposites coming out of this one over here, because the total is a 5, right? But is it telling me I'm going east or west? Is the 4 for east? Is the 4 for west? But not only that, what's incredible about this is I'm going to go back to this. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6 is 7 and 6. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 plus 6 is 13, equals to 55. And if I minus it, right, it equals to 29. The total is 84. This is where we are now. It's 84 plus 7. This is where we are. That's 91. Let me explain this. I know I'm all over the place. 91 is the word spirit. 71 is the word sperm. The electronics that run from through, this is just a story I'm reading through more or less an analogy, but I'm just putting words together. Sperm, moon, cycle, number of man, M-A-N. M, this is for AI, M13, A1, N14. So now you have an AM next to an AN that we know that the ace at 1 dot goes between 2, equaling to that same ace dot inside the 3 card, inside the 5 card, and inside the 9 card. It says IACE, Akai. Let's say Akkadian, if you want, Akkadian. That's where it is. That's its truth. The number 1, the ace, the 1 dot. Dot equals to 39, angel equals to 39. So let me get back to the electronics of the sperm. So 91, isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic that when you add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the bar mitzvah fits with the sperm? It equals to 91. That on the 91st day of the year is April 1st, and they call it the day of the fish. And the fish could be a sperm. Is it a worm? It's swimming. Will you call it a snake? Do you call a worm a snake? When do you call it a worm? When do you call it a snake? Why do we give it just a name as sperm? Is it because of the other elements inside of it? So now we take the weaver. Is it the weaver? right? Is that sperm the weaver of the web? So we take that sperm, and it's a fish, and it's on the 91st day of the year, and 91 equals to the word spirit. We add 1 to 13, and there's 13 cards in the deck, and the 13th card is the king. And when you go 13 times 7, the bar mitzvah, 7 days of the week, we end up to see 91. That when you want to look at 7 and 13, you go 1 and 6, 7. You go 3 and 4, 7, 2 and 5, 7. To where 7 and 6, 13, to 9 and 4, 13, to 8 and 5, 13, to where you go check out the Mayan turnstile, or whatever you want to call it, that Mayan time, 13, their gearing is 13 and 7. That when the sperm being number 71, the egg being number 19, that 3 times 19 equals to 57. The numeric value for M1300 could be 2 moons. Oh, Canada. Oh, say, can you see? Oh, my God, I don't know. No. That all the vowels play a different role with the consonant that is next to it. So as well, I was starting to tell you about this piece over here. What I was getting to with the ace is that the A, since the A fits into also to become the 5, that means 4 or D and E now come together. It's D, Venus, Venus, the 4 dots of the cards, and the ace dot that come together. So now we're in the E world. We're in the E world. We're in the halfway house. And 5 and 2 are opposite each other. Double it up, cut it in half. Double it up, cut in half. 0.5. So we still have the sperm and the egg, and 3 by 19 equals to 57, because my relationship between alpha beta is A and B. Now, isn't it ironic that we stand on 17 in blackjack? 17, 71. What's the difference? It's 1 and 7. 10 and 7 coming together. Now we have a relationship to 17. 17, we're on Q. Just so happens they move Q from the telephone. In the bank machine, they put Q on number 1 with Z. So let's see if I can keep the story together. So we have, now we need 3 by 17, and that's 51. The numeric value for Mars is 51. The numeric value for the word moon is 57, which is a byproduct of what comes from egg, through what is bringing the 9/11 worlds together. Well, you know the 9/11 worlds. Irregardless, I'm going to show you the 9/11 world. 1 and 8, 9, 2 and 7, 9, 4 and 5, 9. Made a little star, right? Made a little star. Okay, but on the sideline. Now, 11. See here, we didn't count 9 to get 9. Now in the next one, I'm not going to count 1 to get 11. 2 and 9, 11. 3 and 8, 11. 6 and 5, 11. 7 and 4, 11. I just made a crisscrossing X star with a line over here. So that's my 9/11. You saw my 7 and my 13. It's all conform to the truth put out in front of us. In the skeleton worlds, God said, bring form. And it was the word. It was all the words that on day 7 transcribed into us in the uniforms we wear of the good holy Lord. We need not make another in its image, because we are that of one of who he thus is. I don't want to say he thus is. And the reason it becomes the word he, and you think of it as masculine, is H and E is the heavens of the E world. So it comes in that who it is, and E is where the she is. E is where the she is, and that's not only the she, it's the she and the he coming together through alpha beta, through the union. And that union comes in numbers through alpha beta. And in blackjack, we stand on 17. So what happens is that 1 and 2 come together equaling to 3, and then 1 times 2 comes together, and that equals to 2, and 3 and 2 equals to that 5e, right? 5e2, did you know that the 5 and the 2 are opposite on the dice, right? So if you had first and you had second, right, I would say we would stand on that. So we stand on 17. So since we're standing on 17, we're standing on creation. So if I take a look at all these over here, I have 3, 5, 6, 2, and 1. So we're going to add these up. 8 and 6 is 14, 15, 16. This equals to 17. We have number 4 for 21 on the bottom. And this is where our reflective world comes in, where we have A, B equaling to 3, where we have A, B, C equaling to 6, where we have B, C, D equaling to 9, where we have C, D equaling to 7, where we have A, B, C, D equaling to 10. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. So now we have the AD, which is the 1 and 4, back into the equation of 1 and 4 equals to 5, to where we have here 2 and 3 equaling to 5, bringing these two worlds together, bringing this world with this world. And when we bring these two worlds together, we leave out both the D in your D9, in your 9 birth and the 4th of the marriage of the 4th planet, my finger over here, right? My 9th and my 4th finger, my 14th and my 17th and my 7th finger. Everything that these two fingers do, their numbers are identical, unless we have to understand the change of what this thumb is. Without the thumb, we only have this grip. We have the no closure. We don't have a closure with the thumb. I don't want to get in there right now, right? So in this one, we have AD as our separation. So when we have that AD of our separation, we're having our AD separation over here. AD are right over here. Now, the thing I'm just trying to think, there was another piece inside of this. Yes, when we do the mathematics of how we came to getting one of these numbers, right? It's right here. 7 times 6 is 4 and 2. 4 and 2 from 2 different worlds. And 7 and 6 is 13, bringing both worlds together in this equation. The beginning of the 1, 6 on this cube. So we were still talking about the sperm and the egg, and how 17 comes into Mars, on how this cube now turns up this way on the dice. We no longer have 17. Now we have 18. I'm going back and forth. I forgot I was working on the sperm count. So we go over here, and what we get over here, okay, I'm going to do it down here, is we have 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 and 6. So we turn this thing around, and we got 1 and 2 and 5 and 6 and 4. And when we add these up, 11, 15, 16, 17, this one equals to 19. So this is your QR. You know your QR creation for your code? Because it's going back to our basic creation. We got to bring everything back to its formation. Everything was detailed, and this is what we show up with. In this one, we have 3 right over here. Is this one we have, this is where the 3 is up, and this one is the 4 is up, the 3rd and the 4th planet, Mars and Earth, right? There's a few other mathematics that I can, on this one, I'd add on the 7, and on this one, I add on the 6, my 13, 7 and 6. This one is going to be for Earth, number 52, 5 and 2 equals to 7. And this one is for Mars, and that's number 51. Here, I'm going to go V11 like that, and over here, I'm going to do it like that. This one has the letter M inside of it. This one over here has 13 and 31. Not this one. This one over here has 40 in it. And this is 13 and 31. Where do I get this? 22nd letter, 9th letter, 22 minus 9 is 13. 22nd letter, 9th letter, 22 and 9, 31. This is where the cycle of our moon comes in. This one over here is 40. You usually don't minus it to this side. This will equal to now what is 3 and 7. This one will equal to what is 4, 5, and 6, or 4 and 6 over here, right out of Mars. So it's telling me basically the same story, right? So we still have to understand about that sperm, right? Number 71, when we stand on A and B, we're standing on A and B. When we reverse it, right? A, B to begin, DC from the other side, 3 and 7 is our basic game, standing on Earth, number 52, 52 cards in the deck. We have 14, right? I don't want to use that. I'm going to use 13, right, times 4 equals to the 52. I'm not going to count the jokers right now that run into the sun. Where else was I with this? This is what divides the alphabet up between the 13th and the 14th. It'll be what it says is the division of the sun. So we looked at this. We came to this. So now we know, even though I got two situations over here equaling to 15, I only used what is 10 in value, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1.5 times the difference. So I know in blackjack, they pay 1.5 times the value difference when you get a blackjack. I'm still trying to figure out why I keep saying it. So here you have 17 is going to hold with Mars. When you go to 17, you're going to hold with Mars. When you go to 18, you're going to hold with the sun. Here you're going to hold with Mars on 17. Here you're going to hold with sun on 18. 3 by 18. Why? Because it took 3, right? And then 1 to change over. I flip sides if I go to the 4th one, and I start over at A again. Should we do it this way? A1. So I'm starting over again when I come here. So I go 1, 2, 3, and then I go to 4. So that also separates this cube. Between 3 and 4 is 3.5. There's only 0.5 away from each other. 3 plus 0.5 is 3.5. 4 minus 0.5. Your 55 division is right there. Your other division is your 5 and 2 division. In your 5 and 2 division, you're 1.5 away from 3.5. So you're 0.5, 1.5, and 2.5. Just to note that this is the base E world, this is Mars, and this one over here is Earth. At the same time, how about if you say, right? And what if I go to like 10 over here, one whole, and I would end up with this? It would probably just say maybe Joey, like a pocket of a kangaroo of some sort. I don't know why it's telling me that story, but that's the truth. This is the O letter. If I switch the alphabet around, I'll have BLQ, and this one would be V. I don't really know what it's telling me over here. I do know this is telling me yo, yo, yo. It's talking about the student. It's talking about the student. Remember, Earth is also the numeric value of saying under the age of life. 25 years. Where is that? 25 years to life. 25 years to life. The sentence, you remember the E and N that came together? Here it's the A and N for man. It would be the E and N for men, meaning more than one. So this also fixes inside of 20. So what is this over here? This is your grandparents, your parents, and then you. How it comes to be you. It took 3 levels. The parents, add on the grand, and then it's just me. Do you ever notice, I'm not sure, I'm a little bit all over the place. There's also A and M. You ever see the word Sam? You think it's saying Sam, Or is it actually doing this? The E world of AM. Now I forget where the AM, is that telling me AM 1 through the 13th letter equaling to 91? Or is 9 and 1 where the moon shows up, okay, that has the division in this 9 inside of this one over here. Did I do that right? No, I did that wrong. Sorry about that. Let me fix that. In this equation over here, okay, number 1 is left out. In this position over here, okay, number 9 is left out. Isn't that pretty weird? Here it says 1. In blackjack, ace becomes 11, and we're leaving it out. When we use 11, we have to leave out 1. When we create 9, I have to leave out 9 because I can't put it all together. So would this one get together and be 9 in itself? I can't circle that one to be within itself. Is this what I is talking about? We need to bring in from where the void, the empty space is in both of them. You get XE in 911. The numeric value for these is 42 and 63. If I get it right, the backwards way of creating this is hold on a second, 28 and 6, 16. Yes, it's this 44. 4 times 4, 4 plus 4 will be 16 and 8 equaling to 24. This is going to divide the gate, and that gate, it's just ironic that the math equation tells me it divides the gate around the ring, with this equation of 8 and 6 equals to 14. So if you look at the ring, right, you have 5 and 6 and 1 and 2. 1, 2, 5, 6. But it's still dividing this ring up. But this time it's dividing the ring with 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do it again, right? With 3, 6, 4, 1. And I think we can do that again. Can we do that again? Is it possible to do it again? No, because you did 1, 2, 3. So if I put it this way, I have 5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2. So if I do it this way, I get 5, 1. Oh, yeah, that's the one I don't have. 5, 1, 2, 6. Do I have 5, 1, 2, 6? Yes. 1, 5, 1, 5, 2, 6. So if I do the 6 one, right? So I have 6, 4. I got 6, 4. So I must be with 1, 3. So that's your ring. And every time you have this, in this one, you're going to have a 2, 5 pole. In this one, you'll have a 1, 6 pole. And in this one, you'll have a 3, 4 pole. So these are obligations and realities that exist, okay, through this dice cube. Understanding the dice cube is also this over here. Also to note that when I do create the Earth-Mars scenario, I need to start this way, 1 and 4, 5. Can I start with 2 and 3, 5? Is it possible? I don't know. I've never really found how to do that. I know here is a 22 and here's an 11. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 2 times 2, 2 plus 2. Well, this is the same thing. This scenario is the same. And then we end up with ape, and we end up with go. 22 for go, right? Just to note where I can get 11, I can get it through the window of our 88 star creation. And that 88, and why window, right, is you have 46 with the 2 W's with in, do, Dwin, do, D-O-I-N, in between W and W. 23 and 19. This is 42, equaling to 88. Also to note, the Monopoly board, right? The Monopoly board. So also to note that the Monopoly board, okay, is a 13 times 13 equals to 169 areas. That's the size of the Monopoly board that we play. That's the minimum size of the Monopoly board. Remember one thing, that if you don't understand something, ask me, I'll try and remember. But 99%, if I say it comes from a game, it comes from a game. 99%, I believe, of everything I talk about, in most cases where I'm referring to something, is the absolute truth of what has been shared by the children of the Creator. So we're bringing to earth, since Father couldn't show up, each one of us, it took 8 billion of us to come to this planet, okay, in order for the good Lord to install into memory over the generations of time into us. And now as the human, just one second, as the human, so as the human being evolved, we picked up all this information. So who are we? We're all of what it takes to be as God. It took 8 billion of us to come here, fractionally broken down into different kinds of faces, living in different kinds of places and spaces, to understand where the Lord is, where the Lord has been. And where is the word we speak? And until we come together and understand that we are the end result, God didn't decide on anything while we're on the planet. Oh, we'll leave it up to God. It'll be God. No, it'll be you. Because where is God? God is in you right now. The Lord is in you right now. You only have one thing to do for the Lord to be installed inside of you, and that's breathe. That's it. Breathe and use this, because for every breath you take enters into your bloodstream. Now, if we want to start getting deep into the science of explaining it, I can't. But I can tell you that if you're live and listening to me, there's a very good chance that everybody's breathing. And if I went to a doctor right now, I'm going to go to a doctor online and see if this is true or not. Can I live if I don't breathe?
According to BBC, science tells us the human body can only survive for a few minutes without oxygen.
Oxygen starts with OXY, 66757. 66757, oxygen. Our moon, MOON, numeric value is 57. That is GE, General Electric. I don't know. 5 and 7 now relates to the female and the male, to where we can get back to where 13 is what creates 7 in order to be implicated in 17 or 71, to where 71 is not the same as 17, because in 17, right, you have to say 10, but in 71, you're going to put your 10 in an ohms, into an 11. It's going to be a full combination inside of that. They do the same thing in the Hebrew religion when they're counting. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When they get to 14, when they get to 15, they go 9. See, they get 10 and 1, 10 and 2, 10 and 3, 10 and 4. When they get to 15, they go to 9 and 6. And then 9 and 7. They go Yud Dalet, okay? But then they go Tate Vav. And then they go Tate Zion. They're going 9, 6, 9, 7. They follow the moon. They follow the moon. So now we have in 71, we have 60 and 11. That it's a special way of saying the 71, the same way as when we say 17, we're going 10 and 7. It's showing me, okay, that we're in the dimension of creation, because who says in French 17, that it's not saying 10, 7 minus and actually being 3? So now you're giving a distance of that 14. You're giving the separation of that 14 of the ring, to where the 7, the male, sticks its finger in the ring, and as 14 around 7, the pole of 14 turns around what is 7. 1/3 to the 7, 2/3 to the 14, because it's 2 times 7, and you have your total of your 21, 7 and 14. You also noted that it's Fish Day on April 1st, the fourth month of the first day. So we're number 4, or AD, comes together of what we just spoke about. So all this is the absolute truth of that reality. It's already existing in numbers. The words were made for it. They've been talking over time. Well, it's just a saying. Some things are just saying, but it is true, April 1st. And what's ironic about that is the 92nd day is April 1st, once every 4 years. In the leap year, of course, we missed, I forget what year we missed. I forget how that cycle works. Every few hundred years you miss a leap year, right? In the 400s, in the 400s, you hit the leap year. Anyways, I don't want to lose myself, and I already did. Oh God, where was I? Yes, and let's just go back to 17. Yes, 17 and 71. That 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 is what will create 7 and 8. So when you get your 17 and now it equals to 7 and 8, or 8 and 7, and where the 8 coming together is 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7, it's telling me about my half-life, right? 88, your highest mark. I was talking about Monopoly because the center, the skirt is the outline of the Monopoly. Okay. So here's how the Monopoly works. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13. We have 1. We have the train. We have 4 areas. I'm going to show you those 4 areas. Right? There's 4 areas here. Let's go A, B, C, D. And then here's the train, E. And then you go D, C, B, A. And here's the corners, right? And it just so happens that the 31st corner, right, is go to jail. Go to jail. Visiting jail and go to jail. The 31st area. It only takes 30 to get there, depending on whether or not you're in a 30-day month or a 31-day month. No, it depends if you're on go or coming in to go, right? Whether you're on go or coming in to go, coming into the light. This property over here is number 1. It's also number 41 and number 81. But every time you run down the line, you get the same scenario. 8, 2, 8, 4, 4, and then you run down this way. And then you have 8, 2, 8, 4, 8, 2, 8. And when you run this, when you count, 8 and 8 is 16, plus 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22. When you run over here, you have the same scenario. You have 4 by 22 equals to 88. Now we're going to do another count. When we go around the 40 properties, or not the 40 on the board, right? When you go around, you have 4 and a train, 4, and then you have 4, okay, and a train and 4, then you have 4 and a train and 4 and 4 and a train and 4, 4 properties to the train to 4 properties. But every time you get 414, you then have a corner. So you have 4, 1 corner, and then you have 4. So you have 1 train to 4 to a corner to 4 to a train. Okay, let me do it this way: from a train to 4 to a corner to 4 to a train to 4 to a corner to 4 to a train. So this is what's going on. And this is 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. The Earth and Mars vibration between the corners and the trains, which is 234. I forget there's another configuration that can bring us to this, or the 432 configuration. It's not where 144 by 3 equals to 432, or 1440 minutes in a day equaling to 432. The ABC cycle, that when you get to D, everything turns over, and that would be 576, or let's say 5760. So we have 4 days of 1440 minutes equaling to 5760. But in regular time on the Gregorian calendar, the year 2000, reset. So you remember we were talking on the last page, if I can remember where we were, right, about G and E, the way G and E kept coming together. I'm not sure if it's over here, where 7 and 5 kept coming together. Well, the G and the E reverts to TV. And then the invert of TV is 2022, equaling to, you can count it this way, or you can count it as 6. So if you notice, we have 5G TV, and this numeric value goes to the moon, and where 2 sexes came in. The Bat Mitzvah 5, and the Bar Mitzvah 7. 13, or the 13th moon that completes our years, to the 12th moon that completes the cube, the female cube, to the cycles we run inside of matrix. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is 4 and 3, Earth and Mars. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 is 3 and 2 equaling to 5. Here we have 7. Here we have 5. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 will create that 5. 13, the splitting up the alphabet, we split up the alphabet, connecting 13 and 12, just like you connect what is A and B, 1 and 2, the beginning of the alphabet. When you add up 1 all the way to 12, it equals to 78. When you add up 1 all the way to 13, it equals to 91. So if you add up to the queen at the gateway, or the king, and in the game of war, the king gets moved up, becoming 105. Sorry, the king gets reduced. What happens is the ace gets moved up to the top spot. The 13th card will remain the 12th card. Sorry, that was reduced. Let me just remark this down. Okay, let me mark this properly. What happens in the game of war, card war with cards, right? You have now starting at the 2, and then you count up to the ace, to where king becomes the 12th card, the queen becomes the 11th card and the ace becomes the 13th card. So the queen, when you add up 1 through 11, it's 66. It now says freedom, and it now connects what is the 5th and 7th gate, or the 7th gate, to the E world. The E world is being connected. This one will create 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 will be 3. This one will be 5. This one will be 7. These are the letters that go along with it. So it could be a magnum. So if it's a magnum, we now have to put this maybe into the game, GAM for game, or how about AM? AM, there's other reasons for the AM. I'm trying to remember, but I know M goes with matter. I know M goes with Mars. I know M goes with Mercury. There's a lot of words. AM, the first 2 letters of Mars, the residency creation through Mars spirit, RS, S always being plural, Mar, MAR equaling to 32, which is also the same numeric value. 43 is goat. 32 is ram, by the way. 32 is ram. Aries, we have Taurus. Taurus is what gets between all the circles. When you create circles next to each other and you put 3, it'll create there's two different things. When you do the 3 circles, right, it's going to create this. When you do 4 circles, right, it's going to create that star. It's not the same thing. They don't do the same thing. There's a difference between 3 and 4, right? Now, I'm not sure if there's any reason it's like that for digital dots on your telephone, but we're going to get back to that 88. So what we do when we see this monopoly, we got a string here and we stop here. We go a corner, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So we have 22. And then we take this one and we count to here, we got 22. And then we count to here, we got 22. We count to here, so we now have 88. If we only count this one, and this one, we have 66. What is the number that we use all the way to here? We use 11, and we're not using the completing corner. 2, and then we have 9 here, are 11. 2 and 9, 11. So now we're in the IT system. We're in the IT sun system. This is not a concrete thing, right? The stem, I also want to go back to where we have stem cells. When stem cells gets created, but there's something that can be also done in here, but E and M come together, also talking about the sun, matter and energy, Earth and Mars, or if you want Mercury. It's also talking about 4, 5, and 6, and it's talking about the female gateway. E is created by 1 times 2, 1 plus 2. It's when it's done over here, like I explained, right? When you add up 1 to 12, it equals to 78. You want to double on that? It's that 12, right, equals to 87. So does October. We have to remember that 8 and 10 come together. When you see the Roman numeral 10, we also look at this as an hourglass. Can be looked at the hourglass 8. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. At the same time, if we want to create this, if you've ever seen something like this called the octagon, right? If we want to create this, this can also be created with a hexagon inside, 6 and 8, and it's just ironic that these cubes are all inverting to 8 and 6. Or if you want to go 6 and 8, or you want to say I'm not sure if I got them all. If you want to go 8 and 6. Are they coming together like that? 8 and 6, 4 times 2, 4 plus 2 is the closest number to 7. It's 101 away from 7. When you go 5 and 9, it's 202 away. So when you're 101 away, you're talking about your 1. When you're talking about your 2 away, you're talking about your 2 away. These are your base. This is your base. It's in every single cube. If you remove it, I don't need the 1. I can use it inside the 5. And the 2, I can complete with the 6. But then there's these 2 that don't exist anywhere else. So it's a different kind of 2. There's a few kinds of 2s on here. There's these 2 opposite of each other. Do you want to look at these 2 opposite of each other? Right? Anyways, these all have numbers. I'm going to show you them either here or here. If I can remember something of this, the 12 and the 13, the king. Oh, yes, it is ironic. It is just ironic. It's just ironic that the king is number 41. The queen is 62. You know, if I reverse these, it gives me 55. If I reverse these, it gives me 88. I just want to go back to my Monopoly before I get sidetracked. So now we can see everything that's going on here, all 22s. If we want to run down and see what our string is down here, we have 18 and 8. So we now have our string of what is 26 and 26, and then our 2 fullers. You remember, we can, if we took away these two will face each other, right? Now they're separated by this amount. So now inside of here, we have what is 18 and 18. So now we have, let me see, we have 18 and 18 to what is 26. So there's an 8 difference. I'm trying to think, there's other differences inside of this 18 and 8. Oh, I mean, I don't know if it does anything. It's going to be talking about the sun. This talks about the dog, the queen. But just to note, when I run this down here, I have 13. When I run it down here, right, I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 13 and 12. The king and the queen, the bar mitzvah and the bat mitzvah. I run it. I'm just going to use this color one. So I run it all the way to here. And that's where I have 13. Then I run just so we can see all the way to here. And I have 12. And then I'm running all the way to here. And I have 13. And then I'm running all the way to here. And I have 12. So let's count this together. So we have 13. And then I have 12. I'm just hoping it works out. And then I have 13. And then I have 12. And this equals to 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. This equals to 50. That equals to 50. Now I'm going to go inside. Somehow I think I made an error. Right? Did I make it? Is that possible? I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right. I don't understand how I got it different over here. Something's counting wrong inside of this. Just give me a minute. Oh yes, this one over here. That's wrong. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. It's 13 for the first one. See, this is 13 here. Okay, let me just fix this. Let me just fix this, right? It's starting here. Okay, I got 13 here. I got 13. I got 12 here. I got 12. I got 12 here. And over here, okay, over here, I don't go to the end. Look at that. It stops short here and it stops short here. So what I actually have here is I have 11 in this one over here. I have 11. So now this one over here equals to 48. So now we're going to do the same thing over here, right? In the pink over here, there's going to be 11. Let's count. Sorry, not less than 11, 13. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 9 inside here, 10, 11. So we now have 11. Now we're going to run the other way over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, it's 10. Oh, no, right. I lose it over here. It only becomes 10. So we're going to do 10. So we got 10 over here. And 10. And then over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 10 over here. Okay. Now, in the last one, I only have the center because both the outsides, so I only have 9. So it equals to 40. 40 and 48 equals to 88. Now, if you want me to show you something simpler, I'm going to show you something a little bit simpler. But I think we're just going to take a teeny weeny break. I'm going to go get some hot water in the kitchen. If you have any questions, nobody's said anything over here, that's fine. I just want to make sure. I'm just going to get a drink. If anybody wants to go to the wherever you got to go, do it. Take a 2-minute break and forever, whatever it is. Let me share this. Wow, I should have shared this before with this. Let me see where it is. You know, they don't let me share my videos into my group on Facebook anymore. They only say share it with your friends and stuff. And I don't really like to share anything on my main page. So what I'm going to do, hold on a second, just let me do this. I'm going to copy. I'm going to cancel. I don't want to do that here. Just give me this. Somebody asked me the other day, so what do you do? I share information that might be pertinent to just one person that can properly bring this information out and be shared with whoever needs this pertinent information. That's about it. Pertinent to what they need it for. Because it's pertinent to the world. That once the people know who we are, once you know who you are, the reality of your life, wouldn't that change something for anybody? To know that we are supposed to be, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not here to say anything. I want to get a glass of water. I'm going to come back. But we're supposed to be united. We have to stop hurting other people just for money. If you knew that money was worthless tomorrow, what would be your next move? If money had no value, think about it. If money had zero value, if everything you owned was being taken away from you and you had no money, in fact, nobody had money, and there were people coming and wanting everything you had, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Would you still be in the battlefields, right? Like in games, right? Because this is for entertainment purposes only, the battlefield of games. I don't care what color. I don't care what color is on this cube as a human. Makes no difference to me. You're in your space, I'm in mine. Who determines whose space is whose? Everything needs to be restructured and understood with reasoning of why. I'm going to be back in a minute. I don't like to get off onto that. I stumble in my words because I don't really want to say anything. I'm back in 1 minute. Going to the washroom now. You know, at the same time, number 38, number 12 and 8 sit outside, you know. Number 12 and 8 sit outside with 10. What is 10? What is 10? What is 10? What numbers do you want to know? What numbers are written in the comic book Bible? What is written there? What do people want to know? Why number 10? You want a story why number 10? I'll tell you a story about a number 10. I'm going to tell you it through here. I'm going to show you it through here. I'm going to tell you what equals to 10. Is that fair? So you see it in words, you saw it written and over 5,000 years, written, rewritten, and written, and rewritten, and written, and rewritten. And this one said this, and we have 12 different books telling us 12 different almost stories that are similar, but they're not similar at all. Imagine you can come up with a word like, have you ever heard the word Israel? Right? You know, Israel. Right? Sorry, did I say that? That's not I'm not talking about a country. I'm talking about what is real, right? Right? Like here. It's not that number. Those are the numbers for the moon that goes with the operator of that moon. The EL at the end is 17. That is your gateway birth when E and L, when R and A becomes the angel spirit. That's the 18th letter. In our alphabet, when you start out, before you even got here, before your life even began, right? Because you came in here with something that your parents didn't keep, the egg and the sperm. Egg and sperm. Egg, 577. Just so happens that matter is 77, right? The bar mitzvah and the bat mitzvah, 5 and 7, because it's 12 and 13, 25 equaling to earth. Is it 1221? Is it 1331? 11 times 11 times 11 times 11. Hello, here's your 911. You see 9 and you see 9, but when I put this 2 here and I say, see this? Can you do the same to this? I'll say, yes, it's a little bit bigger. I'll take off this corner and this corner. I got 2 and 7. BET, I like to call it the house of Bet. The 13th house, the 1 and the 3, the AC house, altered current, the AC house. We use CB codes. It's a 10 code. Is it the 6 and 4 10? Is it the 2 and 8 10? Is it the 3 and 7 10 or the 1 and 9 10? But this is only on one level. Imagine if we had one calculator for every single square that was here. How many single squares go around the square? There are 26 squares that go around the square. 26. I'm going to go 26 times 26 equals to 676. 26 squares per cube. Well, in this situation, we're going to add on 27. So plus 27 equals 703. That is perfect. Number 37. I forget why. It's the female. Oh, yes, becomes the female and the male creation. 13 and 11. 11 and 13 come together in this. Because the 11, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3, 1 times 1, 1 plus 1. Your 11 is your creation. Remember that. Now, I want to continue with the Monopoly. I need to show you the number 22, but I'll just go. The word go is number 22, 7 and 15. The word ape, right, is 22. Monkey is 83, number 83. And I'm a little bit all over the place. I don't want to lose where I am. Number 83, number 88, number 22, number 33, number 10. We were talking about number 10. But it's ironic that when you do crisscross your 10, your 1 and your 9 creating 10, in one of them, it's not there. In your 9-11, there is no 1 in 11. And there is no 9 in 9. 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6. No 9, 4 and 5. In 11, it's 2 and 9, 8 and 3, 6 and 5. Funny, I think the word gorilla is 74. Oh, that's funny. Energy's number 74 and Jesus is number 74. And it just so happens they play from this position over here, this 5 position. And it's not me, of course. It's the tools that was left by the good Lord to avatar itself into this world, broken up in 8 billion human beings or humanoids. Humanoid, OI, coming together as a representation of I, which is a representation of 10, a dot over a 1 equaling to 10. Is it a circle that we use for a dot? Is it a circle or a dot? So sometimes I get a little confused because there's a big difference. If it's a dot, it's in between the crossing window. The word window is 88. The dot that comes in between 4 areas, right? We have the dot right over here that comes between these 4 areas representing Mars, to where we have this over here, right? We have this over here and that over there. It can be a single area, 1 area and 4 areas. But this plays a role in Earth, in the heavens of Earth, where we have 1 area, which is encompassing 8 areas. 18, high, 1 encompassing 8. Each one of these, if we want, what is their value? Inside a cube, it gives me the value of 5. Reason, my little buddy over here, when I add up all these numbers, (45) divided by 9 equals 5. So each one of these gives me a value of 5. So if I have 2 of them, is it going to give me a value of 10? Should I be using this as 5? If I use this as 5, I would have 40 and 5, or I would have 80 and 10. It just so happens, I mean, just by luck, in the birth corner over here, to our mirror creation, to the dividing gate in the cycle where the queen and the king are inside, 41 and 17. Like I said before, I'm going to explain something. I have to get back to, I'm just trying to remember where I was in this thought. It's just too bad that I can't always remember everything. When we talk about 80, right, we're talking about 4 times 20. When we do A, B, C, D, it shows me D flips everything over. And then I go, oh my God, the game of roulette does the same thing. The minute you get to the 4th number, right, in the beginning of a state, right, saying 1, I start at 1. When I get to the 4th one, it's not the same. Check. I'm not sure if I should do it here or show you over here, if you can follow this image. Let me see. Is this a good one? Yes. Can you see my mouse? So here's where it is, right? Okay, here's where it is. We're going to start on the bottom right, the 3rd X over from the bottom right, right? And if you notice, first of all, it's starting at number 1 is down at the bottom, working to number 36 over here. So if you notice, I have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? And then over here is 12. So when I get to 9, I jump to 12, right? And then it's 13, and then 14, 13, 14. 13 and 14, look at that. Every single one here starts off as an in-between, right? Red, 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 red. But then when I jump over here to this side, it remains black. So it switches right over here. My first switch is at 11. And then after 11, you go, sorry, my first, that's right, 10, 11, 12, right? It goes this way, 10, 11, 12. I didn't, 13, 14 is down here. Sorry about that. Well, it's easier to see on here, right? So what happens, let me see which one I can actually do better with. Maybe I'm going to work with this one here. It's easier to see than this one here. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, right? See the way these black come together? 12, 11, 10. Actually, is it better to work 12 here? I never work upside down with this. But anyways, to say to the fact that this area here and this area here replicate. All these areas replicate. They're all 2, 4, 6, 8. It's like if you say number 15, 1 and 5 is 6. If you say number, hold on, let me see, 2, 8, and then 8 and 11 come together here, right? And it happens here. 2 reds come together here. 2 blacks come together here. 2 blacks come together here. 2 blacks come together here. Here, this replicates this one. So you can see that this one is in between those others. Although this one is also, this one is touching this house and that one is touching that house. But the lower one, right? The lower one is over here. So you can see the center. I hope I'm saying this properly, right? This center here, right, is connecting both the lower X with the upper Y. Can that be the XY chromosomes that we're seeing? The center over here equals to 111. Where you see this cube is, it's a total of 111. Where 14 AD begins over here to where BC, number 23, 14 and 23 are at the ends holding in this 111, 111. 555 is left over in the numeric count for the totality of this. I forget why I brought this part up. I wanted to show you inside something inside of this where the cube was, right? There's the upward cube and the downward cube. I only put upward cubes here, meaning this Y and this line. I could have did it the other way. I could have started the line down over here, right? And over here, met over here, and then covered this. This value over here is T for 20. And this value over here is Q. The reverse of the GQ, the TQ is T is reverse G and Q is J. Yeah, that's very ironic. Let me just think of that. The 20th and the 17th letter. The 20th and the 17th letter. The 20th letter, I get a G, and the 17th letter, I get a J. That's ironic. That's crazy because let me write that down. I want 17 is Q and 17 is Q and 20 is T. So I need G7 and J10. Wow, that's unbelievable. I never saw that before. I'm not sure if it's a queen 10, if it's jack god, but 5 times 2, 5 plus 2 will create the number. Where this number 37, the remaining value in the 26-letter alphabet, not talking about the board because the reverse of Q is T, but reverting it to now the alphabet and reducing it to JG, which is 5 times 2, 5 plus 2. This is a Mars number. This is a Mars number. And it begins in the 60s. It repeats itself in the 90s. We run in our birth rotation through the 60s. We are in the 60s right now. The last time there was this revelation that happened was back in the 60s. And now those who have connected to the flower of life in the 60s, they brought back the flower of life. You cannot take something away for the last extension of life. For those who don't know this, in Montreal in 1967, they had a festival. They called it Man and His World. But in French, they called it Terre des Hommes. which is basically the same thing, but it's man of this world, man of the world. No big deal. 67, 1967, 19 going to the moon going down to the blue flag, right? The hexagon blue flag with the 6 points. And 67 is coming in from what is 1 and 5, and 2 and 5 to what is both Mars and Earth, picking up their inverts to what is Saturn or the rat sun, and Earth coming up to Uranus. S and U coming together, 21 and 19. 21 and 19 coming together. Remember, the Q goes along with the U. We also spoke about number 38, and I wanted to go back to Monopoly for a second, but I'm going to stick here right now. Terre des Hommes, 1967 until the reset, was 33 years. That was 33 years. Now we went from the year 2000. We're going to go to the year 2023, or should we go to the year 2013? Because if it was the time of the coming, we'd have to prepare it to have the 33 years that was left over from the last life, right? And we have to take 3 years into consequence. And the reason for the 3 years into consequence is that I am looking at our base creation of stand on 17 is before anything began. Before anything began, we have to take away 1 and 2. So if we take away 1 and 2, if we want to look at taking away 3, right? 4 is on the bottom. If we take it away, we take away 3, we got 4. And then we have 4, and then we have 3, 5, and 6. So that would be our creation of 17, because our base creation already came. We couldn't come into the game without the mother and the father, the egg and the sperm, but we're in the game with them as the egg and the sperm. 3 is within inside of us in the 6th life of the 9 birth. We are already inside of what is 3 and 3 of what is our parents, the egg and the sperm. But in truth and reality, the sperm is number 8 and the egg is number 1. The egg shows me over here, the sperm shows me over here, if I would use that scenario. So now we're into the year 2013, okay? And now we would be at the age of 43. So now to come into the age, how old would this age be? Where would this age be? 1967. Now, do we back it up 3 years plus conception equaling to 1963, making this the 60th year? We're not going to get to there yet. We're going to go from the year we are in now. If we were to talk about the king, JC, 103, just so happens that Earth and Mars, 51 and 52, equal JC. It just so happens that September, the 9th month, ending in a BER, going to 25 for the 25 years to life that we get on Earth. So that would be 25. I'm just trying to remember where I was. I trying to make too much of a story and have fun with this. But that would make him the age of 46, which equals to 33 and 13. And then this year, right, would make this 57. So it would make the age of 57, which is 33 and 24. And that's absolutely perfect. That's absolutely perfect. 1967, Terre des Hommes, where they had buildings that look like stars, the 6-point stars. We go 33 years to the rotation, where we have that rotation between the yin and the yang, the sun system, the percentage of the divided sun, located on number 5 because it's inside the E world. R and R, if you want to look at that, right? Becomes an R. See, each one of these were R's before, right? The R is basically made together to look like 70. It also can look like a 1 and a 2. So now we get the moon, we get the male and the female, we get the 6, and we get the 6 coming here. And there's an equation in time, with those numbers. The cube, I'm going to show you the house, the cube. Here, we end in 42 over here. We end in 33 over here. The house of BC, 3 and 5 come together. The first 3 says ace, divided house by the gateway of birth. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. The 777 now gives me 1257. Do you notice that 111 minutes ends up with 6, 222 minutes ends up with 6, 333 minutes, 6, 444, 555, and then 666, which is actually Earth and Mars, because 11 hours, right, is 660, right? So it'll be 11 hours and 6, but you can't do it that way. We can't. Should we be able to go over? This would be continuous, 2 and 6. So now we go to the next one. The minute we get the 7th one, right? Can we do this? These 2 make 7. These 2 make 7. For this one and this one, these 2 make 7. Hey, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So we're just trying to understand how this comes together. Now, in this section, 7, 8, and 9, they reflect each other. 777 minutes ends in 12. 888 minutes ends in 48. 999 minutes, beacon the call that I made a mistake. 16 hours by 60 is 960 and 39. 14 hours by 60 is 840 and 48. 12 hours by 60 is 720 and 57. 394857 to make these. So when we're looking for the worlds, when does 7, 8, 9, when does the birth come in? See, we have to have the shift. We have to be looking for that 6, right? Aren't we born on the 6th day into the 7th gate in the E world through Pluto? This would be the basketball one. 1.25 times 12 will even out that 15 minutes in basketball, or 80 times 15. We're born into the 3rd world, probably on the 3rd or 4th ring. Did you ring that bell? And then over here, we get back to 3 and 4, where it's 33 and 6, 33. So I'm going to get my hot water. Just give it a minute. If anybody has anything to ask me, go ahead. I'm going to get back. I'm not finished yet with number 88. Remember, the egg and the sperm have never left the body. The complete cob of our parents and our parents' parents, and the eternal of time, and the upgrading of who we are. Constant. This world was made absolutely perfect for life. Every element works exactly the way it's supposed to work. And why isn't it not working now, some may ask? Because these bodies, A, have been manipulated. B, the bodies we live compared to I can't prove any of this. The numbers say that there are other worlds, and we have to know, okay, that there are other worlds. We communicate from elsewhere to something else. So how do we know we're who we are? How do we know the real person isn't somewhere else manipulating us to do everything? So where we were given the free will, we can get into trouble because it doesn't care. We're only the avatar of the reality, living our life in our own pain for our own gain. AM. Why AM? What AM? In French, and I use a lot of I love to use the French, the frog, back to the sperm, where, oh my God, the frog, the French frog, where the French frog, the tadpole, grew its legs, where the sperm grows legs. The tadpole, French represented by frog. The frog kissed the lady. Was a frog that kissed the lady. The frog was a prince. So I'm just trying to think is what's happening over there. Should be kissed, or will we get warts? How do you spell a wart? Is wart? How do you spell wart? How do you spell wart? W-A-R-T. Ah, W-A-R-T. Isn't that just ironic? W-A-R-T, just like the pig. You don't want to eat pigs, but you really don't know why, because of this and because of that. I can show you where the pigs are. PIG, number 32. PIG, the 12th zodiac sign. I think I warmed up my water. I'm coming back. When you learn the truth that all the laws were man-made, a lot of the rules and regulations were all man-made. And one of the possibilities of having so many laws and rules and regulations is because we only need one rule, and that's the rule of respect. The rule of respect. The rule of respect. Now, of course, we were also taught so many things that are not true for survival, right? That you can't stop in the middle of the road because your God said something, because you don't even know other than what you wrote, and you don't understand what you read because you were told not to question Father or God. The thing is, that's a trick. Why wouldn't your father want you to read? They always say that if you want to learn about this life, where is a better place to go than to what's official business? Because you are official business, because it all means something to you, even if you don't think so. So when you start following all these rules and regulations in books that are marked up as I follow my God, because it seems like everybody, it's like every single war, it's a war of God, but now it's gone beyond that. Okay, because what this means, the word God is initials, G-O-D, gates of divide. Omega divide, break up the egg. We're all the eggs. We're all part of the eggs. We're all the worms. We're all the snakes. If you really want to know what the Lord said to us, go, my children, and learn. Be smart. Think and be smart. Books written by man. The word man, M-A, am. In French, soul is am. It's A-M-E. A-M-E. A and E coming together, the divided world coming into the E world, holding on to this world and that world at the same time. I am the moon in the center, and on each side is another moon. And I'm picking up this one moon from those two moons. Do we live in these two worlds or in this world? What does it mean to live like an Egyptian? 5777 for Egypt. That's right. Egg Egypt 577. 5775, but we're going to go to 88 and show you this thing about 88. Just to note, this 888 is 548. 1 and 4 equals to 5. This one comes out of the sun. It is male. Here's your female. Your 6 and your 8. 1 and 1 is 2. Female gets pushed into this 2 position. The male, although got pushed back into this position, it remains in this position. I'm going to have to explain this a little bit better. I don't like the way I just explained that. This one fits inside. This one goes to the moon. This one over here is Pluto. 3 by 16 is 48. 2 by 24. It's the dividing gates. It's the dividing of the Stargate. I showed you the Monopoly. I showed you about 22, 22, 22 all the way around. And then on the inside, it became 11, 10, 10, 10, 9. So it became 12 on average and 10 on average. 3 and 1. 3 and 1. Remember, male again on the inside on average and on the outside on average. I know I missed something. I missed something before. I jumped over something. I'm really upset. I opened up too many cans of worms. Um, Too many cans of worms. According to like this one over here that we didn't finish, this one cannot go into 11, and this one can't go into 9. When you're creating 9, you cannot. You have no number 9. When you're creating 11, right? You have no number 1. I think we went over that. Did we go over that? I'm just trying to think. 9 and 11. Right. So 9 and 11. I know I'm all over this place now, but I'm gonna have to straighten myself out because 9 and 11 is just like 9 and 2. 9 and 2 is 11. Now I like to use the 9 for birth. I like to use this into the house of bait because the two of them. I say this is the IT system of the sun. The reason for that is the calculation of the numeric value of the word sun. 5 times 4, 5 plus 4, which is created by 9 times 6 equaling to 54. 9 and 6 is 15, the quarter houses. So what we have is 5 times 4, 5 plus 4 equals to 29. You can't do anything else with that. The next step after that, we always have to keep the triangularity of it. So it'd be 5 times 4 equals to 20. 5 plus 4 equals to 0.9. That equals to 29, right? And it's 1 times 4 AD. So that's 2 worlds. A and D are in 2 different worlds, right? The ABC and the BCD, or one is not inside the other, coming together through birth in the house of bait. It's the IT system, where I like to see what this is G and this is R, grit. The reverse of this word is grit. That's pretty funny because I was looking for a perfect word, and grit is one of them. Love is another. So in this here, you have 18 and 11, and it starts over again. So this is R for roi, K for king. I don't know. And then there's mathematics that go along with this. AM, why did I say AM again? 5 a.m. So maybe we'll call Uncle Sam. It also, if you're looking at this, right, you might be thinking of bowling. One, I'm just trying to think of why I thought of bowling. Just give me a second. Boy. In the house of bait, Tran. We passed through, spoke about that. We put the Earth moon here, and then we put 2 moons here. 888, 88. And these 3 moons, they connect the Earth moon with the 2 Mars moons. And then one is called Phobos, and the one is called Deimos, house of the cube. But this 5 a.m., I'm trying to think of why I wrote this down like this. I don't remember. Oh, God. It also looks like mass, right? It's equals to number 33. Yes, I remember now. Because in the word am, right, you have, in French, this is soul. And you know what's funny? That when you put ami, it means friend. What does ama mean? Right? You also had Acme. You remember that Acme from the Warner Brothers show? They have Acme. Anyways, Warner Brothers. I'm not going to bring that up. Now, if you have Acme, you could have came to this planet. Matter and energy, the AC, matter and energy, the AC/DC world. Trans is 72. It could be a strand or a strand in a gene or a gender. Man, woman. The difference is 38. Well, that change of 38 is right over here. We're going to try and figure out what we can do with this. It's pretty simple. We have 4 on this side. I got 9. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go 4 minus 9 equals 5. I'm going to turn this dice cube over. I got 3. And I got 9. 3 minus 6. Oh, 3 minus 9 equals 6. Right? 5 and 6 equals to 11. But the 3 and 4 equals to the 7. So now I got 7 and I got 11. So let's see if it works out anywhere else or it's just a lucky guess. Here I got 2. Here we got 9. 9 minus 2 equals 7. The opposite side of this is a 5. I got 9 minus 5 equals 4. 7 and 4 equals to 11. 5 and 2 equals to 7. Let's try the other one. I got a 3. Did I do that already? The 3, yeah, I did. I got a 1. There's 9. 9 minus 1 equals to 8. I take this, I flip it over. I got a 6. 9 minus 6 equals to 3. 3 and 8 equals to 11. 6 and 1 equals to 7. 7, 7, 7. 11, 11, 11. So now I'm going to take my first example of my first 11 and take a look at this cube, right? And notice that opposite sides are opposite of 11s. So I'm going to have 11, 11, 11, and you add that up and you get 33 void for the years Jesus was yet to live amongst us. This equaling to 10, this equaling to 44. The V and the D are both 4s. 22nd letter and the 4th letter. What is it for? 4 is a totality of what 2 and 2 is, or 1 and 3. 22 is a value for life. So we now have 7, 7, 7, 11, 11, 11. We now have this cube, 11, 11, 11, 7, 7, 7, 54 equaling to the sun. Noting that the sun is number 54. And when we cut the sun in half, it equals to 135, equaling to the word ace. Since the ace is drawn this way, ace with a brace, since the ace has to be drawn this way, and we have also ace 11, we have now split the ace in two, and we still have the ace standing up. If I had 2 aces, what would happen with 2 aces? Right? Would we have 2 aces like this, or would I bring it down here and do it over here and have my own brace? Let me see, did I do this right? And then when we run this, we'd run it this way and we run it this way, and we'd end up with that star. 2 aces on top of each other with 10, 10 on each side, Roman numerals, looking like time or hourglasses, or 88s at the same time, or more or less looking like 808. And then when you pick up the deck of cards, what was I looking for? Right, I know what I was looking for. I'm looking on both sides because I can see my camera. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wait. This. Okay. And then if you take a look, right? Can't see it. See the tombstone? What it says? There you go. 808. Right on the bottom. See that? We got one chain, one wheel in the front, one wheel in the back. We got some joker in the center. The guy's not lying down. He's sitting up. He's in a different direction of the wheels, right? What if I put it this way? Our system, our digital dots, perhaps, moving between the worlds. I don't know. But that's my 88. Let me take a sip of this Java, which I probably shouldn't be drinking, but I think we should be drinking tea. I really do. I think we have to just find a different way if we're not, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little lazy. You silly wabbit. So they put the W in front of the R. Beta creation at the beginning. You're the wart of a frog. The sperm turns into that is like a tadpole that it ends up with legs and becomes human. That is the French aspect on it. So it's I'm not sure how we intertwine that aspect is showing what the value of 1 is, what the value of 9 is, understanding that the egg gets number 1 and the sperm gets number 8. The total of them are 9, right? It's the total of them that are 9. And when you do 9/11, you don't get number 1. We don't say number 1. We say 2 of the ones. 1 in 2 different cubes, 2 cubes. We go from birth to life, and we're living in 2 different worlds. I think I did that over here. 1 and 6, 7, 2 and 5, 7, 3 and 4, 7, to where 9 and 9 are 18. So when we're looking at this, although there's 3 opposite sides, 4 sides become the ring, and 2 sides begin the pole. The pole goes with the rotator, the other one goes around the rotator. Here, from the top through the bottom. And this one all spins, nothing spins, hold on. You can't spin it around this way, right? Without spinning the center. So the only thing that's moving is the one in the center that can move. When you hold this, only the center can move. And that's 8. You're holding on to 9 and 9, and all you're spinning is number 8. 8 can spin this way, right? If you're holding these 4 corners, and then all you can spin is the cross, if that's what we're living on. And if you do spin the cross, you have 3 and 3 and 1 and 1. So you have 8. 3 and 3. So you only have 8. There's only 8 here. 9 here, 9 here, 8 here. 26 of Rubik's Cube. I want to bring it back to, now we're going to talk about this little piece over here. I said I'm going to talk about number 22. So we spoke about number 22. Now we're going to look and find where 22 comes out in numbers, right? And let me see where I have it. So 22 comes out in numbers over here. In my counting of my 10 positions, we have replaced the numbers. We replace the numbers with these numbers here. Also in football, it's 10 yards. 4 downs, 10 yards. I can bring that basketball. Okay, basketball, right, is 12, and football is 15 minutes, right? 12 minutes and 15 minutes, 1/5, and right, and like 1/5, right? And then you have 12, and that would be there. 1 and 5 and 1 and 2. It's like the judges in between the two. 12 minutes and 15 minutes. So anyways, we have 90, we have 86, we have 82, we have 70. This has to be broken down. Level 2 of this, where 58, 5 and 8, oh, we have it over here, where 5 and 8 becomes 13. See, it starts off like this. Then it moves over into stage, I went into stage 4 from stage 1, right? I didn't do stage 2 and 3. Stage 2 would be, this one would be 10. Stage 2, sorry, this one will be 11. This will be 13. I did it somewhere else, but we're not going to get into that right now. So this is stage 4. This is when it gets to the mirror stage, right? So 58 becomes 13, 62 becomes 8, and 66 becomes 12. 5 plus 8, 6 plus 2, 6 plus 6. 74 is 11, 82 is 10, 8 and 6 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, 9 is 9. 13, 8, 21, 33, 11, 10, 24, 33, 33, 11, 33 for your base evaluation. There is a total here of 33, 43, 44, 54, 64, 67, 33, 43, 44, 54, 64, 68, 77. But this won't happen once. This will happen twice. And then this will happen 3 times. This will happen 4 times. This will happen 4 times 77. It'll happen in 1 star. You will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 33. In this star over here, you will get 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Did I get that right? Yeah, here I only get 3 times. So it's going to start showing us what does all this mean? How come here 5? How come here only 3? 25 and 19. 1975. 5775. Oh, 5775. Okay, this is showing me 5775. This is to do with the moon. Just want to show you that piece. For those who haven't seen that yet, I'm going to get back to this. Right? I'm going to do it on this page. So what happens, right, in the year 2015, okay, in the year 2015, what happens, it's the year 5775. I'm not sure if I should go 77 times 75, right? I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if I should go 7 and 5 is 12, 7 times 5 is 35, equaling to 47 time. That 28 and 11 equals to 39 and equals to 17. 4 times 7, 28. 4 plus 7, 11. 11 plus or minus equals to this. I am Q, and this is the angel. 71 is the sperm. Inside of Q, what becomes the queen. And this is part of the Blue Boys of Mars DC. Level 2 is 34. It is, I like to call it Blue 40. To rationalize a number to the core, in which the core is noted to be number 74. And I'm bringing this back to the core from 34 because it's a 7. The 7, 6, and 5 all connect together, but I don't want to bring it back that way. I'm bringing it back because cold is for number 34. Democratic, if you want. I use this because it's DC, CD, Democratic, blue, blue for cold, cold for boys. Or yo, and you're under 12, 12 and under. So you're not PG, right? PG is 77, parental guidance. So we did this over here. We got this over here. 39 regards to angel. It also regards to the number of 10. It's also the cycle of man, woman's creation. This is going to be 10 and 11, 21, representing the 21 dots of the cube. Remember, our cycle runs to 28. We need more than one of these unless we're running our 28 days inside the void. Meaning if we're running 33 void and we're running to 28 days, okay, inside, we have 5 days left over for, this is cube number 1, cube A. So now we have 5 plus cube B, which is 33. So now we have 38. Now we have cube C, right? Which we have to take off 28 days from here. We're now left with 10 days. These are the days left over from the cycle. And this here, 28 is the cycle. And then we add on 33 here, and we have 43. Take off 28 from the cycle is 15. And then we add 33 on here, equals to 48. We take off 28 for the cycle. We're left with 20. We add on 33 over here, is 53, minus 28 for the cycle is 25. We add on 33 here, equals to 58. We minus 2 times. We now minus 2 times, equals to 56. We're left over with 2 here. So now we're going to go 2. And then we go 33. I want to see what the equation comes out. We have 35. We take off 28. And now we have 7. Okay. And that runs to the pole. Number 7 will run to a pole. Did I have number 7 before left over? I had a 6 left over here. I had a 2 left over here. I had a 7 left over here. 2 and 5 equals to 7. So we do this 7, we get 33, we get the 40, 28 is 12 plus 33. we get the 40, we get 28, 33. So this is 45 minus 28 is 17. So we stand on 17. So I'm not really sure how many it's going to take before it works out all our voids to all our dots. Or should we be working with the voids and the dots for all the moons? But I like to just work on that. Anyways, let me get back to where I was. I don't want to confuse the whole situation. I'm already deep in the tank. Okay. So we're going to run back to the next page. And at the same time we're doing that, we have 22, 22, and 22. We have 22, 22, 22. So each one of these 22s, if I get that right, did I do that properly? Oh boy, it's inside of here. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to show you that and this. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I can complete it all today, but so you can understand that there's 322s in here. So that is 66 plus the 11 equals to 77. So this and this and this. I'm not counting all of it because if I would count all of it, right? If I would count my complete star, what is the value of my complete star in this scenario? All I'm counting is the numbers in here equaling to 77. 66 plus the core. 66 is woman, 66 is freedom. What connects to the seventh gate? What happens? Let me see if I can see this down here. That'll be gate 7. Here is gate 5, and here is gate 5. My DNA, my egg, all number 19, right? Leading up to what is 38 to what is 57. Monkey coming out of that cube. 38, 11, and 8, 11, and boy, for those who remember the 7 and 11, right? The 11 and the 22. And the reason for that is because when we go to the 11 void, right? When we go to the 11 void, these two are 11 void, these two are 11 void, and these two are 11 void, equaling to the number 33 we were working at. The rest of them is with the dots, 5216, right? 521634. Right. So what happens is my 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals to 2 equals to 1, 1 and 2 equals to 3. My 2 times 2, my 2 plus 2 equals to 4, equals to 4, and 4 equals to 8. Now my 38 work together. It just so happens that 83 is monkey, 83 is club. Sorry, 38 is club, 38 is gold, SS, 2 19s, 38 numbers in roulette. We're not going to get on that. This will create 35 at the end. It'll create the center of this cube, 3.5. Here, 5, 7, 5. We take number 6 and we put it over here. And 6 overlapping 6, an odd and an even, touching each other's faces, right? And we create 88 or 80 going this way. So 66 connects what is 575. And then 8, right, will be over here, locking over the 66 to 7 and the position below, which is the 9, 0880. When we take that into the fact that the 8 is between 6 and 6, we're just going to have to see if it's possible that the 6 is near the 8, or if the 6 is near the 8, or if the 8 is near the 6. Now that we saw that, we want to understand that the 5 and 9 are on the same row, that the 5 and the 9 are on the same row, that the 9 and the 5 are on the same row. That's the truth. That's the reality. That's the artwork that goes with it. 1938. So if I went to this, I would change this into 5733 if I had to change it for that. I was speaking before about the master creator coming back and the time that was spent over the period of time of creation. Expo 67 to here, the year would be that year right over here. And talking about that year, what I like about 5775, which is also ironic, that when you add up 1 through 5, it equals to 15. I'd say the pooled game has 15 balls, right? And when you add up 2 through 6, it equals to 20, and that would be darts, 2015. See, when I have this, I don't have this. When I have this, here, there's no 1, and here there's no 6. You remember in the one before, there was no 1 and no 9. Now there's no 1 and no 6. 7 and 10. 5 times 2, 5 plus 2. Yep. Right. The birth and the rotation, perhaps with the same spirit, maybe with another one. This number running with 13 moons gives me back the same number. Gives me back the same number. 7 and 7, 57, 75 to 57. Now, what's ironic is the year we're in right now is the first cycle complete to this one. We're starting over one complete cycle since this year. And that year is 5784, and we are going to complete it in 5785. And now we're at the gateway of Liberty 55. This September, October, in the Hebrew New Year, in the month of Tishrei, we start over back at a gateway between 5 and 5. Being on the gridiron at center field in the CFL. The difference between the CFL, between 50 and 55. 55 to 55. But what is 50-50? What is 50-50 when there is no value of a 0? We're not going to count. So we're going to have to count 0 as a 10 value. So do we count all the 10s in my 0? Is it a 6 and 4 10? Is the star included in my 0? So anyways, it's irrelevant to the fact that this year, we are now ending our birth year. Okay, when we start 5785, it's actually done. We completed that 2023-2024 cycle. That, remember that when you start one when it's done. When you say I made one turn, that one turn is done. When you celebrate next year, you're celebrating a year and you're signing checks that say the year plus the number of months in the next year, not of the year you're in. When we started at time, what time did we start from? We didn't say time 0, Jesus Christ, time 1, or was it time 0? When we came to the year 2000, it went 0-1. 3,760 years, 3760. 3760, take away 5784 equals 2024. There's a difference of time. 7 and 8 and 7 and 6 that came together between 3760. So now we're going to get back to where I was explaining this. Let's get back and let's not fool around because I know you rather see this. So what happens now is we're going to run the totality because I haven't done this yet. So by getting this, I got 33 and this. So I got my 77 here, but now I need to do it here. So when I do it here, right, down this way, you see, I did it up this way. I did it this way. I did it this way, and I did it this way. So when I count this one here, and I count this one here, and I count this one here, I'm going to get a total, okay, 33, 43, 53, 54, 64, 74, 77. So I got 77 here, and I got 77 here. 77, 77. But at the same time, I have to recount this angle, which I didn't count, and this angle that I didn't count. And that is 66. I want to do this small, right? I want to do this small. This is 66, right? I can't count this because I already counted down here. So I didn't count my 66 up and my 66 down. Should I be counting up and down? No, I didn't count here up and down. So I have another 66. Plus what I had over here was 77 and 77. Let's see what this total is. 7 and 7 is 14, and 6 equals to 20. 0. 6, 7 and 7. 7 and 7 is 14. 6, 7 and 7 is 14. 20 is 0 is 2. 7 and 7 is 14, 6. So we have 22. We have 220. Does that mean it's talking about the cube of the 22 on the cube? Does it mean it's talking about 8? What is it telling me? I know it's telling me also 5 and 3. This will create a 3. I don't know if we should count this at all. Just call it a 4, or just too many numbers to figure out. I know it's 535. I know it's a cap for electric company, but I don't like that. I like the final figure that comes out of here. So the outside corners, maybe I shouldn't have talked about that. I don't look good in this. I have to think about this. So now we have what is the corners: 1 and 9 position, 22, 7 and 3 position, 22, 4 and 6, 22. We understand all that. That's perfect. But this position is replaced. All the positions have been replaced. Instead of these numbers, it's these numbers. So no matter which one you look at, you go, well, we know all of them are all 33. This angle was done here. It was done here. These are all different possibilities you get from this star. Now, when you add up this star, you add up this row over here, it becomes 186. When you add up this row over here, it becomes 86, 86, 240, 250, 250, 240, 258, if I remember properly. So when you add these whole things up over here, right, you end up with 666. Did I get that right? Let me just count that again. 74 by 9. 666. But at the same time, when you add up this star, right? When you add up this star, so you add up this star, so you add up this star, I'm adding up 33, and each one of these lines is a value of 33. 4 by 33. 4 by 30 is 120, and 12, 132. This way, this way, this way, and this way. Now, if I take it over here, all these are all equal to what is 222. Each one of these lines, so each one of these lines is 222, making this star equal to what is 888. Now, should I multiply it by the 50 stars on the flag? Should I multiply it by the 52 cards in the deck? I'm just trying to think, and I do something else with it. So when you add up all these numbers, it equals to 45. Each one of these other ones add up to 35, and the center of this dice is 3.5. 3.5 is what is exactly what fits inside of 28. 3.5 times 8. 3.5 times 8. Let me get this. 3.5 times 8 equals to 28. The cycle of the moon in the center and the heart of this cube. You have 2 of them, it equals to 7. Or is it 3 different ones that equal to 3.5? I don't know what realm that would have to be discussed. So you can see right now, we're 77, we're 74, we're 33, we're 22, we're 66, we're 99. Because when we're adding up the 3 rows here, right, inside this star, over here. This is 99, representing this star being Jupiter. 99 this way or 99 that way. second ring of Jupiter, reduced. Now, where did I get this number from? Well, it all started over here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Add them up. We're going to add them up together, see if we can come up with the same result. There's so much more. I think we've gone 2 hours and 20 minutes. We're going to end it in a minute, right? I could finish off with this another day, but we're going to just add up together where the numbers come from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this at this, and we're going to go. I'm not sure which way I should go do this. Okay, I'll do it now. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Why don't I have any pencils here? Why don't I have any pencils? So now we're going to just line it up here. 1 and 10 and 19 and 28 equals to 58. Second line, 2 and 11 and 20 and 29 equals to 62. Third line, 3 and 12 and 21 and 30 equals to 66. Fourth line, and 13 and 22 and 31 equals to 6. Equals to 70. 5 and 14 and 23 and 32 equals to 74. This is where the Jesus number time fits in. Walk, energy. 6 and 15 and 24 and 33. Look at that rotation in 6. The day of man's coming. 78 even shows me the gateway. It shows me all the 6s at the gateway. 7 and 16 and 25 and 34 equaling to 82. Cycle. Earth DC for blue boy at the gate. 8 and 17. Look, Q is an 8. 26 and 35 equals to 86. The divided gate right here, the seventh gate between 6 and 8. The heavens of man, a lower heaven than 8. It's only got 3 parts of 2 inside of it. And then 9 and 18 and 27 and 36 equals to a total of 90. So you end up with 13, 8, 12, 7, 11, 15, 10, 14, and 9. And if I add these all up, I'd like to go 0, 9, 0, 7, 0, 8. And if I 21, 31, 32, 33, 40, 51, wow, 61, right? And we use the cube, I can see something different. Wow, I got to count this again. 23, 33, 42, 48, 58, 59, 69, 78, 88, 98, 99. So we go down to the next level. and we add this all up, it should equal to 45, 12, 15, 24, 31, 36, 45. There's a 54 difference. The numeric value for the sun is that number. This one ends up to be Jupiter 13. Terre equaling to what is Earth. So this is where the numbers come down. And now, before I make a reflection, I would only be counting 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45. If I stop before I reflect, right, I end up with 48, 51, 54. And if you do notice, and I break this down, it ends up just doing that. Actually, I'm going to put a star here and a star here. And in these two, this will be 18, 18, 18, 54 for the sun. And here, I'm going to add on 9 and 9, okay, which equals to 27, which equals to 27. I'm going to go 54 plus 18 equals to 27, and that's inside the house of bait. The reason I did this is 3 and 9 is 12, 4 and 8 is 12. That's on the first round, on the first ring. But on the second ring, it gets reduced again. This is the house of bait, number 27, the gateway inside the house of bait. In a baseball game, there's 9 innings of 3 outs, 27 outs. There's 27 over here, the 10th inning, the extra inning in baseball. So this is where basically we get all our numbers, and then we can work them all together. 36 and 1 is 37. If you want to go to move the alphabet to the heart of the alphabet goes here and here. That's my heart of my alphabet. I have to advance 5 and start at 6. It's also at the same time, the 1 is opposite of the 6. 6 by 6, 36, and 1. So anyways, this is how these basic numbers work. This one over here, right, is going to be this one here, average. 90 and 58 is 148. 86 and 62 is 148. 82 and 66, 148. 70 and 78, 148. But if you're going to add them up to single digits, right, this whole thing is going to equal to what is and what should be. I think it's 666, right? Eight times 74. Let me see that. Or is that 9? No. 8 times 74. 9 times 74. Yeah, it's 9 times 74. Right. It's 9 times 74. Now, if we want to start combinating them, right, if we want to put combinations out here in the totality, I can use 1 and 6 because the dice cube tells me that. Or let's go to 2 and 5. 2 and 5. So I go 2 and 5, right? And I end up with 136. So I think I have something already prepared for that. So I ended up with the first position and the sixth position, 58 and 78, 136, because I'm trying to follow the formation. Well, I don't like to use this one because I usually start with here 1, right? So just bear with me, I'll correct you. So I'm going to 1 and 6. Now 2 and 5 are over here, right? So 2 and 5 are here, 136, 62 and 74. 62 and 74, right? This is the one with the E world. So Venus goes into the E world. So it goes up to here, and then here's our even numbers, right? We use these numbers over here, these 4, or we use these. So what will be the total of these corners, right? Or what will be this? This will be 148, and 148 is 296 and 296. It'll be 290. Let me see this. 148 and 148 is 296, and 296 equals to 592 plus 74 equals to 666. So it works out perfectly. So now we have to understand where 592 fits in. The IT system, 9 born inside the gateway of Earth. This is a Mars gateway. The reason for that is the center of a cube is 3.5. So it's 1.5 away on each side from equaling to either 5 or equaling to either 2. That 3 and 4 Earth, Mars coming together. So now in level number 2, we have 13 and 15 because we took our 13 here, which is here, and our 15 in the 6th position here, which is here. So now we run with number 28 and 19. This is starting to remind me of Leo, there's something to do with the moon. The 9 and the 9 brings your birth. 19 and 9 equals 28. Man birth, bringing two worlds together in 19. The sperm brings two worlds together. It's number 13 that will create this. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 will create 4 and 3. That 4 and 3 is the Earth and Mars. The Earth and Mars come together as the 4th and 3rd planet, or just DC, the blue and the red, creating the purple. I'm getting a little tired here. Hey, Tammy, how you doing? Never too late. I know you can't participate much on what went on in the last 2 hours, but hey, that's the way it is. So now I'm going to bring you to the next level, the level of 10. The operator is 0. The operator is 0. So how are we supposed to understand it? I just want to tell you one thing. Heads and tails. Number 1 is the only one in numbers in roulette that flips over heads and tails. Now, like I said, I want to reset the alphabet for number 30s for 36 areas. So whatever is in any of the boxes, I need to move them forward 5. Let me see. Whatever is in 1 is right. I need to move everything forward 5 so that the M, right, or the O, which is the 15th letter, is now playing from Venus. The O now plays from Venus. Why? Venus is number 2. I'm moving everything over 5 positions. So if I move over number 6, 5 positions, right, that creates 11, creates 1, and 1 is 2. So now I have to move the number over to that position. So if I move that number into that from that position, this number over here, number 15, I move it up to 20, right? 2 plus 0 equals to this position, but that's not what I was talking about, so let me not confuse you. What I was talking about is I need to move the entire out right. So each one of these, which were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? I move them up. Oh, sorry, I have to go to 18. Hold on. Stop. I'm putting like 3 subjects in this. I'm moving the alphabet up. When I move the alphabet up, the O is the 15th letter. It's now playing from the 20th position instead of from the 6th position. So the O plays from Venus. If you're going to say, oh boy, oh God, oh my God, oh Canada, oh, say, can you see? We now move Saturn into a Venus position. Now, are there any other ways to make this move? There are, but they're all questionable, right? There's other questions I have to ask myself. But anyways, let's continue on. So now when I'm going to connect, I've connected this. Now I reduced it one more time. I reduced this 1 and 3 equals to 4. 8 equals to 8. 12. Oh, that's a mistake over here. I don't know why that's like that. Let me just correct that. So in this over here, I have 15, I have 15, I have 15, I have 12, I have 15, I have 18, I have 15, I have 15, I have 15, I have 15. I have my 60 coming to here. So now if I want to create my 6 and 1 for 7 or my 2 and 5 for 7, my 2 and 5 will come over here, my 6 and 1. So I'm just trying to show you how all these formations come together. 1 is 58. 6 is 78. So the high side. Now the low side, right? Remember, 1 and 6 is the high side. 1 and 6 is the high side. The opposite of that is either 7 and 6, 9 and 4 to what is 4 and 3 and 1 and 6. What is 7 on the bottom is 13 on the top. On this basis, if we do the same thing here, I'll get 70 and 90 is 160. I'll get 82 and 78, which is 160. When you add this together, it becomes 1. When you add this together, it becomes 7. 7 and 1, 1 and 7. Mars, sperm, a gateway. Now, when you move to this one, then you move to this one, you can see that the 6 and 1 is 7, and this one is 1, so you can see that reality. So this is one of the formations, right? The other formation, let me see if there's any other formations that I created in this. I'm a little bit tired. Oh, yes, when we wanted to create the 9/11 scenario, right? When creating the 9/11 scenario, right, I'll be putting 1 with 8 together. So the value of 1 is 39. The value of 8 is 49, totaling 88 or 79. Why 79? To a single digit, this is 7. To a single digit, this is 18. 1 plus 8 equals to 9. 7 and 9, the gateway birth. The 7 and 9 have lost a letter on the telephone, Q from 7 and Z from 9, and moved over to the 1 to the ATM, totaling to what value? A single digit value of 88. Now, in the 1 position was 58. In the 8th position was 86 to create my 9. This equals to 144, 1,414 minutes in a day. The 2 and 7, 9, 144. The 3 and 6, 9, 144. And the 9 gets 0. So it remains at 90, 54. The sun is missing from 9 and 0. 0 equaling to 64, equaling to DC, 10 and 24, dividing things up. This one, here's your 144. Here's your 123, 58 and 65. Where or what is that? Oh, right. 2 and 7 added together. The value of 7 is 65. It equals to ABC 1, 2, 3. When you, what was the 24? 5 and 6, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. 8 and 5 is 13. 1 is 3 is 4. It divides things up. Divides them up in the sun. I can't say things about every single one. The spirit comes inside of here as I, by. The queen comes in here. Mars and Earth come in here. Yo, the student of the divided gate in the 9th position. Here, C and H, this would be monkey that shows up in here. Shows me, again, 8 and 6. Born in the 6th, living from the 8th house to the 6th house. 6 and 8, 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. 24 is the cat, 24 hours in the day. Earth and Mars Electric Company in rotation of the 3 cubes, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, or the star system of the cubes. We have the star here, the base star. We can only use 3 of these lines. When I use 3 of these lines, it'll create 4 different. So now that I have 4 different here, let's take it for the 4 suits. I'll use this one with this one with this one, then this one for the one on the other page. And I can mix those combinations up again, mix those stars up. Groups of 1, groups of 2, groups of 3. I have 4 stars, make groups of 3 stars. The group. And I also wrote that down somewhere what the numbers are, but I don't, I'm not sure if I have them on me here. There's just so much stuff. Where else am I with this? Yes, another funny thing is 518. Let's see if I hope I got this right. 234, 210, 284, 384, 484, 488, 498, 508, 518. Where did I get that from? 58 and 70, 128, 129, 130, and 80 is 210. 74, 68 is 14 and 1. 9 and 7 is 16 and 6, 22, 23. 4, 8, 3 and 7 is 10 and 1 is 1. 2 and 2 is 4. Carry over the 1 equals 51. Mars sun systems. 58, silver spirit matrix. I never liked 58. It's 229s. The IT system in the sun, born into the IT system of the sun. IT, I am the I am the 9 birth. The T is a division. The T is 20. The reverse of the T is G, so it's telling me about the gateway. It's also telling me that it's the dartboard where there's a moon because there's a 25 red with a 50 red with a 25 green, showing me between this and this. This is my only 7, 6 and 1. If I hold it this way, I create the H and the Z. If I held it this way, I create the N and the H. No, I did it wrong. This way is the I and the Z. IZ 26 and 9, 35. Let me write that down. So when I have it this way, right, the one on the other side will show through. So either I can create the N, 14th letter, or so let me just, okay, or I can create the H. Now, in creating the H, I automatically have 3 times. I have 3 times the system. Inside of this over here, I only have 2 times the system. Here, I'm going to get 888 equaling to 24. Here, I'm going to get 14 and 14 equaling to 28. It just so happens that the word rabbit equals to 24 and 28 equaling to 52, the earth number. We can say the earth or we can say heart. We know that the Earth and Mars are, though they're the 4th and 3rd planet, Earth is 52, Mars is 51. Let's go for OY, 25th letter and the 15th letter. If you want to reverse this 15th letter, you're going to go with L. And if you want to reverse 25th letter, you're going to go with that. Below, right? The reason I did this is because when I create the H, let me do it a little bit clearer. I had this over here. And when I created this, I can draw now connecting this. Now, the thing about this, that's not really the way I do it, because I always like to work on these points, which allows me to do this. Because in here, I'm not allowed to do that. I can only go corner down and do this. This is what I have to do to cross over, because it's a single square. If I had 4 squares, then right away, you know, I have a dot in the center of the square, and I can follow it to that dot. Because it only works this way and this way. These are my 2 ways. 11 and 22 are my 2 ways. When I do it this way, I'm creating only the N. I do not have to change this position, but here I cross over that position. You can say hell or high water. Also to note the cat and the rabbit. I got to tell you about the cat and the rabbit, that the cat is literally inside the rabbit, right? The only thing that's missing over here is the moon, and the rabbit's got big ears, and the cat and the rabbit seem to move pretty much alike. When the rabbit runs, it's always tailing off and marking. It has a marking of 5 on the rabbit, but it doesn't have that on the cat, because every time the rabbit sits, it creates, it creates, when the rabbit sits down, it creates this. The tail to the 2 back paws to the 2 front paws. This is the way the rabbit sits. The cat doesn't sit that way. So this is the way the Earth and Mars, noted that this is going to fit with Earth, and in Earth is Mercury, and in Mars, Venus is with Mars. So let me see Mercury and Venus, if you want to work it that way. Where else were we going to go with this? Yes, I did something with the cat. We had those stem cells we worked on before. Oh, yes, it's right over here. What happened in the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac, right? They switched over the rabbit, Le Pan French, rabbit in English, right? Sometimes they go and they replace it with the cat. Well, the cat divided the gate. The difference is the number in the moon. When you find that difference in the number of the moon, you also have to understand that 7 times 24 equals to the number of hours in a week. And sorry, 7 times 24 is the hours in the week, but 6 times what you don't see, the moon 28, the 28-day cycle also equals to that number. And that's Earth and Mars. But Earth and Mars come together on the other side, and Uranus and Saturn coming together. Saturn and Uranus both have a sun inside their word. When we have the difference over here, cat and rabbit coming together in French, it's 88. Cat and rabbit coming together in English, it's 76. So this becomes 7, this becomes 4. 7 and 4 come together, say energy, Jesus, energy, Jesus, time. This will be 7 and 4. So it comes together and it does all those things. And 74 is the core of what we run. Everything rotates around 74. If I take 74 away from 222, what do I get? 148. So if I get that 148, I think I get it. Oh, I didn't talk about this yet. This is when you only count 3 parts, triangular counting, 3 only. Where's 148? Got to have 148 somewhere. And 148 again connects back to the moon. I'm not happy that I don't have 148 somewhere. $58. Okay, so we're gonna squeeze it in somewhere. We're gonna squeeze it in over here. And don't hesitate if somebody wants to help out the channel, that'd be fantastic. So how did I get that again? Right. So my 10 world is 148. I thought I did my 10 world already. I thought I did my 10 world. I guess I did not. So let's just, I can probably fill it in over here. Okay, so because I'm going to be starting this over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 58 and 90. And that's going to, these two here, right? 1 and 9, okay, equals to 148. And then what we're going to do, right, is we're going to do the star system, the same thing in the star system. We're going to go 66 and we're going to go 82. And we're going to go 3 and 7 equals to 148. And then we're going to come down the center here, right, in the 2 and the 5 position. And we can take a look at that. 2 in the 8 position, 1 and 9, 3 and 7, right? This will be the 2 in the 8 position, and that'll be 148. So this star value is going to be 6, 3, 3. This is to a single digit. This will be 24, 12, and 3, 336, 12 times 28-day cycle, showing me for the female, also talking about this cube. There are 12 two-color cubes. There are 12 of them. When we add this one up, it gives me 24, 2, 12, 14, 1. 8, 8, and 8 is 24, carry the 2. 4, 8, 12, and 2 is 14, carry the 1, 444. So our 444 shows up over here. There's going to be 4 stars. One of them will be this way. My next star like that, I'm going to see if I can find my next star like that, is going to be, let me see which star I have over here, right? My next star like that is going to include this one over here. instead of that one here. So when I include this one here, right, one over here, this is, I only want to use 3. When I include this one over here, I'm going to include, now let's not do it. When I include that one there, all right, we're going to include, I'm going to do these 3. I'm going to include 70 and 78. And that will be my 4 and my 6 equaling to 148. And then what I'm going to include here is I'm going to include the 58, 66, 90, 82. So when I include these two, and these two, right, my 7 and my 9, my 7 and my 3 equals 148. And my 1 and my 9 equals to 148. And that'll equal to 444. Now we're going to go and we're going to do another one, right? See the way they were both X's? Now they're both going to have straight lines right through here. And this one's going to be 74. So, whoop, we're not counting the center. Sorry about that. We're counting over here. It's going to be 62. And over here, it's going to be 86. And then we're going to count 70 and 78, right? So we got that. So we have 2 and 8 equals to 148, and 4 and 6 equals to 148. And then we're going to go 58 and 90, and 1 and 9 equals, this is the position of the box, and this is my fortune teller, position teller, and that'll be 148 equaling to 444. Now my next one, I'm going to do it over here, right? I'm going to use these 3 over here. Let's see if I can, this is one box, and then here is 2 box, and then here's my 3rd box, and then my last box is going to be over here. I'm going to do it in the corner, right? And I did this way, right? There's my star this way. Maybe if we show the star off, you can see it better, right? Well, I didn't do that one. Well, let me see what I did. I didn't do the center one. Why did I just mark that in? All right, that's my 2 and my 8. This is my 62 and my 86 for 148. And don't forget, when we do all this, this is a 4 and this is a 9 coming together. This is a 3 and this is a 1 coming together. This is an 8 and this is a 5 coming together. We didn't do any of that math yet. Okay. Now the last one we're going to bring together, right, with this plus sign over here, and then instead of going this way, we're going to go that way. That'll be 66. That'll be 82. Now this will be 86. This will be 78. This will be 70. And this one will be 62. And these will be my that one here. So we're going to have, I'm running out of room. So I'm going to put a star here and mark it up here. Position 2 and 8. 2 and 8 equals 148, right? And then we're going to have there, this is position 4 and 6 equals to 148. And this is the only, remember, in this, when we come to color, both of these are red. Both of these are black and both of these are black. Both of these are red. This is a black. So we have 2 blacks and a red. I mean, we have 2 reds and a black. Here we have 2 reds and a black. Here we have 2 blacks and a red. And here we have 2 blacks and a red. So we have to understand where we're going with this, what it means, the totality. So now this whole outlook changes to where 296 goes with 148. The reason for that, when I look at roulette, it shows me, it details for me what is red and what is black. And just note that number 1 switches positions all the time, right? So please note, yeah, changes positions. So this is going to be 148. And then we have 3 and 7 equals 148. And that's 444. So now if I take all the stars, right? If I take all the stars, let me just mark this one off. Right? You just color them all in a little bit. So now we take all of them, right? There's 4 of them. 4 times 444 equals to 1776. Mars coming in with Mars 1 and 6, the half-life of the cube. I'm not going to get into the whole Shammai right now because I don't have it as an exact explanation. I'm just getting a little bit tired over here. Hello, Mr. Joker. Number 59, EIEIO. Between 5 and 9 is 6, 7, and 8, which is a reflection, okay, of what is 4, 3, 2. Because 6, 7, and 8, in order to create 10, we need to create what they taught us to create. Our base creation comes from here. 1, 4, and 7. Do it twice, it becomes 2, 5, and 8. Do it 3 times, becomes 3, 6. It becomes what? Do it twice. 2 times 1, 2 times 4, 2 times 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. But when we do it 3 times, 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 4 is 3. 3 times 7 is 3. We rotate in 6 and 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. Our rotation comes in 6 and 9, that when we join these two together on the bands of creation. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 5, 10. 1 plus 0, 1. 2 times 8, 16. 1 and 6, 7. But when we go 3, it becomes 24, 6. It becomes 15, 6. It becomes 6. OXXO. XOXO. 39, 39, the angels. Now we don't have 9. Well, this was all 3, and this is all 6. So if you go 2 in any one of these, it'll be 6 with 3, 3 with 6. Bringing these two together, creating your 9. All inside number 36. 3 times 6, 18. 3 plus 6, 9. 9 and 18, 27. They are the reverse alphabet. They are outside the box. There are only 2 of them in the alphabet. But when we get onto the gridstone of 36, right, the 9th letter ends up in the 14th position, and the 18th letter ends up in the 23rd position. Listen again. When we realign the alphabet, okay, for 36, for 360 degrees, for 360 degrees, when we're counting 1 through 12, and then we're counting 13 through 24, right? You only see 11, right? But we count the number we're on also. It's 11 plus 1. And then we count from 25 to 36. What happens is the alphabet starts on 6, A, and ends on 31, Z. So when we get to where 9 used to be, add 5, equaling to 14 in the end position. When we get where R used to be, and R is the 18th letter, you add 5, it becomes the 23rd position where W used to be. 2 and 3, 5, 1 and 4, 5. I is the beginning, how we started this whole video, where what is A, B, C, D, to where AD is AD, to where BC, Warner Brothers creation, is BC. It's what connects that spindle, that chalice of time. The army stripes. So then we have 23. So what happens? What is this? This one here and this one here. 16 and 21, 18 and 19. The center over here is going to be 17. If I did it inverted, I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. Right? If I did it inverted, I would do it this way. And this here would be 20. 20 and 17. They invert to each other. Remember, we stand on 17, 2 through 6. We stand on guard for the game card queen 20. And we always count down at T minus 20. T is the 20th letter. I was talking about the N over here. I was also talking about the I right? We create the I. I'm just going to do this real quick. I don't know who showed up a little bit later. Okay. We can do this for the I. Oh, that's no good at all. Sorry. Very, very wrong. When we take this dice cube and we look at this when it's on its side only when it's on its side, when it's on the ring side, right? We put it that way. The one is in the center if I'm drilling holes. Sorry, the one's in the center if I'm drilling holes, comes out here. So I can create the I with this, which is 9, or I can create the Z with this, which is 26. This equals to 35. If I do it and I create the N with this, it's 14. When I create the 8 with that, it's 14 and 8 equaling to 22. So these are my two differences. And it becomes 4 and 8. It just so happens that 84 is how this game is run through the cycle, 3 cycles of the moon equaling to 84, 3 by 28, and the number planet of Pluto, orange, the pylons on the road, burnt orange, Harley Davidson, all leading to what is Pluto, who created it, how it came to be, where we are, and a whole bunch of other things. I'm just a little whacked out to continue on. I started the thing with the A, B, C, D. I just want to go down and say what that is, right? Is that the AD is on the outside of what the BC is, where it's ABC, right? To where it's BCD, to where it's A, B, C, D, in order to orient these two outcomes. In which, when we're talking about the 33 creation, 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 is what creates this formation over here of both worlds, bringing the world and reducing it 1.5, because A, B, C, D only equals to 10. So when we go and play blackjack, which is the game of 21, and not the 21 dots you find on this cube, right? But when you play the game blackjack, a blackjack is ace king, right? Which is noted to be the 14th card of the deck. When the king is the 13th card of the deck, they become reflection of 27 in the alphabet, because the ace gets moved up, right? The king is the 13th. The ace in blackjack, right? This game, the card stretches out to number 14. But the reality in blackjack, right, is we never go higher than 11. There's no card in the game higher than 11, where we move the card for position and to the highest card. And 1 through 11 equals to 66. But we only can have one or the other. It's 1 through 10, or it's 2 through 11. Otherwise, we have to count it as 1 in the game. It just told me that if we have 2, I only can count 1 as 11. I cannot count 2 as 11. Therefore, they can't go together and hold full value. So I'm going to move it to 1 through 10 and 2 through 11. When I count 2 through 11, I get 65. When I get 1 through 10, I get 55. But if I'm using them all together, I get 66. One gets reduced by 1, one gets reduced by 11. Just ironic that 111 is the core of 36 numbers. So anyways, that's the way. I'm not sure if I should bring up anything else. Even the separation of the alphabet, where the N used to be the 14th letter, now the N will move into the S position and become the 19th letter. To where the M, that once the 13th letter, will now move into the 18th position. Just have to. So it's the M takes over the R. Okay, just hold on. The M 13 plus 5 equals to what is R 18. So everything gets displaced when we move everything into the formation of 360 degrees. I'm just trying to see what we end up with. 14 and 19 is 33. Hold on a second. It becomes 14, becomes the 19 to 13, becomes 31, 31 and 33. It becomes when it gets moved over in its positions, the N going into the S. So from 14 to 19 equals to 33. The M going into the R from 13 and 18 is 31. It just so happens I saw this crazy parking lot today where they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way up to 15, and then they put 31 and then 33. They went 99, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 66, 67. Then they jumped over to 31 to 33, and then went 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, another 8 and 8, and then jumped over and in another spot. I don't remember what that number was, but I think it was 78. It was just really like cuckoo, and it just told me a few stories, but I haven't had anything concrete to sit on yet. Just to note that the number 6 and the letters that it can be converted into will say Heinz, and when the 6 is in an I position, you're talking about 2 and 5, 7. When the 6 is when the H, okay, an N position, you're talking about 3 and 4, 7. Only can be read on the side. This one is always the same. 1 and 5 always the same, to where 2 and 6 can be different. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video. 3 hours, 6 minutes, 19 seconds. There's still a few things that I probably didn't go over, but we're living the ape life in the time before the BC. We're living in the time of BC. Inside, what is controlling us is the AD controlling the DC, or we're living in the times before. Anyways, we're living in the communication of the 10 worlds. So I just don't want to talk no more. Thank you for watching this video. Inside the egg of the moon, inside the moon egg.